Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. Welcome back to episode 38 of our solo world playthrough with no mods on update 11. So let me get rid of the title screen while it loads up. So in this episode, this is right where we left off from, maybe with me moving around a little bit, but still basically right where we left off at the last episode. We are all set to do our basic threes. We just have to move the basic modules over. Everything else is sitting there. The research pages for culinary, dendrology, and agriculture, they're all sitting there. We just need to move the modules in and out. So we did have this one. We made that's maybe what I did offline, is make 4 more iron picks, because the one I had was getting down to like a couple hundred hits, and it wasn't lasting very long for going through basalt or something like that. Something that takes 2 hits. So I have extra pickaxes now. This basic 3, we need to figure out what we want to do with it. I mean, we're going to be doing all of them, so it's just a matter of where we want to put it first. I guess there's 2 choices. We already have these. We already have these, for the most part. So the only thing would be sticking it into engineering table first. Well, not really, because this is going to be on the carpentry table. So it's going to be... we're going to need to put it in a carpentry table. So we can start doing boards and I'm going to pull this up and grab this one, and we're going to grab this one. We don't have one in here. We don't have one in here. That's advanced. That's advanced. So we'll bring these 3 over. Open the table, go to storage, and drop these 3 in here, and let that start working. We can go ahead and grab the module out of here, and we'll grab the module out of here. We can grab the module out of here, and out of this one. We're not using these tables right now. Six, yep. So open that and drop those 6 into there. While we're up here, and we know we're alright on food, but we probably ought to think about making some more. So it's everything but the roast and the salads that are static. So that just means that they do not change with a module. They are not affected. They're straight out, because it's the way the game is. So let's go ahead. So by the time that module comes out, it's going to be doing in multiples of 5. So in order to even these back out, we'll do 20, or I mean a 30 commas, 30 corn. $30 mushroom. And 30 tomato. I think that's on the workbench. On the right. Yeah, we're gonna want to make the hand plow. So that's gonna be where one of that first 3 probably comes. Storage. Do we have? Should have some lubricant somewhere. Pretty sure we do. I don't think we used the 3. Oh, we may have. Because of the module, it may have cut it back. Alright, so I'm going to have to get the lubricant for the wheel. Okay, let's take this, stick it over here. We're going to craft a hand plow. So you see what that, how to use that. That's early farming. That's basically an upgrade to the hoe for tilling soil. So because of that, we need to make we need 4 hewn logs. We don't have the hewn logs. Or at least not visible. Nope, we used them. Okay, so we do need to make a couple hewn logs. So that's where our next module goes, is in one of the carpentry tables. While we're waiting on that, we'll grab the 6 iron bars from over here. Almost. And it does start at 6 minutes, so we're probably down to about a minute left. It's just so slow moving. No reason why it shouldn't be moving. It is. I mean, you see the little T tractor and triangle moving on the table, which means it is working. It's just doesn't really show it. It seemed like it is here because we've got the almost 2 hours worth of time queued up all the way across here. You break that down by 1%, you're talking like, well, you're talking 120 minutes basically for the whole bar. So every 1% is a minute and 20 seconds. Or, is that right? Something like that. I may be off on my count, but you get the point. It's over a minute for every 1%. There we go, we just got our second one. So take that one and go throw it in the carpentry table over here. So now, oh, we already had a noun. Whoa, I forgot about that. Alright, so we'll put it in here, in the masons. Alright, so for here, we're going to need to make what do we got? Do we got any dowels? We don't have any dowels. So let's make, we're now at 1.2, so we'd have to make multiples of 5 to be even on using all the wood. So there's no way around it. We are now pretty much at making modifiers of 5 on our work orders. At least with the 25%, we had the chance of doing 2 or 4, depending on how the recipe broke down for its 25% off. So now we are at this, which means we are at 1.2 and 1.2, so we have to do at least multiples of 5, so we'll do 10. Because we know we only need at least that much. So that's going to make that. So that'll make our wood plank, or wood hewn logs. And then we need a wooden wheel and the lubricant. And the wooden wheel, that was on the engineer table. Wooden wheel is 3 more hewn, technically 2/8. So we could look and see if we need these for anything else. It is considered a part for the pottery table. And it's used in the wooden barge, it's used in the wooden cart, small wooden boat, pottery table, and the hand plow. So we're going to go ahead and make 5. It's not going to hurt to have them sitting around, because they could sit around just like our millstones, because they go into the rasta, they go into the mill to be used as the part that you end up replacing. So these will end up being the part for probably the wooden barge, definitely the pottery table, and maybe the hand plow. We'll find out. So now the only thing missing would be the lubricant, storage. Still working on the next module. So since we really do not need it here, I'm going to grab this one. We're not making anything on that table at the moment. Now we want our lubricant. So let's stick this over here. So yes, this now make oh that's bison. But when we go to say butcher the bison, we are now at a 40% reduction. So we do need 3 bison to get the equivalent of 5. So you see how we get so much more meat. And then once we get around to that, it would be making... See if we make the raw roast out of this. Again, if we use 6 raw meat, we're going to get times 5. So we'll get, instead of using 12, we'll use... Well, instead of using 10, we'd use 6 to get our 5 roast and 10 scrap. So it ends up being a heck of a lot more. Alright, so we're not quite there. We probably ought to go do a little hunting. Workbench. Bench. That's workbench. That's not the one we want. Like this one. I'm gonna make some arrows. And oh, that. But you can't stick a module in here, which is what that other table's for. That is what... It's not there. This table's for. Alright. New plane. We have the dowel rods, so we'll just go ahead and make another 10. And then from here we will make this fletching table. Of course, it is going to use 6 and 12, so it is fine. The fletching table is, you know, hunter. And what it allows you to do is build the better bows, or even the wooden bow, at a cheaper rate than off the workbench. Well, you'll get the better bows off this one, and you won't get them off the workbench or tool bench. And same for the arrows. This is where it can actually use the module. So in 30 seconds, we'll have the fletching table that we can throw up here. And until the recipe's over with, we can't remove. Alright, so let's grab that. Let's go to storage, grab our table that just got produced. Stick it there, go to 8. Go here. Stick the module in. And we're over on space. Don't that just suck? You know what? We have, yeah, we had 36 bricks. Turn this side. Oh, that was another star. I want to remove something from this room for right now, because we need to make it bigger in order to use the fletching table. Because there's no room to throw it on the other side. Yeah, let's go ahead. We pick that up, throw it back in here. Now this is functioning. Now, instead of taking 10 wood to make the 20 arrows, we're only using 6. And say for making a bow, instead of using whatever it was. I don't remember how many. Instead of using 30 plant fiber, we're using only 18. And what was that? Divided by 2, that's 2.4 for every 10, so 24 wood originally. Let's make ourselves some arrows. Alright, we got 2 more modules to throw in. One goes to... Can't throw it in the campfire yet, because it's still making that. Alright, so we will throw it... This one back in here. And we will throw... Other one into the farm table. Next 3 we'll throw in the tailor table, it's down below. We'll need to start making linen cloth for the windmills for module 4s. Almost got all our arrows. There's the way they are. So let's throw this in here. Come over to our other cart. It has all our tools in it. Let's throw that and throw this in here. Let's go get some bison. Oh, don't be changing directions on me, Mr. Bison. 4 arrows and you're down. And I'm too hungry to eat. Or too hungry to shoot. I always forget when I go doing a lot of recipes. I forget I use up all the calories in my stomach before I go running out, and I don't look. Of course, we may have just ate more than we really needed to of something, and we'll balance it out once everything's done. There's 2 bison. There's another one right ahead. We need 5 in total, so we don't waste any part of a bison. Any more? Any more? No. Let's go look in that direction. Honestly, let's go drop these off. So we ain't gonna be able to carry anymore. We're almost full on our backpack. Let's throw those there. Now we'll go looking for 2 more bison. There's one. How'd we miss his head? He was perfectly stable. One more. Right there he is. Or she. I'm not going to be picky. It can be a male bison, it can be a female bison, I don't care. It can be ungendered, I don't care. I just want its meat. Oops. Turned, spun, and cut the edge. Didn't jump down. Alright, so up we go to our chest. We throw our bisons there. That gets us butcher bison 5. 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, no, we want to do 10, but that means we gotta go get 1 more bison. I forgot we only needed 3. I was thinking we needed 5. Alright, so I guess we go find 1 more bison. The quickest way is probably to the right, across the river. Haha, see? Told you. It's the grasslands that we wanted to look for. Grasslands, desert. Come here, Mr. Bison. Alright, there. So we'll get the equivalent of 10 bisons out of 6. So at 8 meat per, that means we just got 80 meat out of what used to be 48. So So once those are done, storage wise, we are down to 5 raw roast. So we will look at this, and if we're going to make at least 20, we need to make multiples of 5. So that would cost us 6 meat. We need to do at least 15 for our next craft. If we do let's do 35. That'll get us enough. 45. 45 is the most. 9 times 5. 9 times 6 would be 54. So yeah, that's what we want. That'll give us enough roast for 2 times of cooking. And that will get us 45 would get us 90 scrap meat. And for our lubricant, we are now down to 1.2 tallow per from 2. So we'll be getting, instead of 2 lubricant per tallow, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. We're getting 1 for every 0.3. We'll have to go do a lot of hunting here before long. Go ahead and queue up 5, which means we need 6 tallow. And when we get over here, I believe this is a modified. Yes, it is. So we'll do that once this gets done. We queue up our salads and our roasts. We will queue up the render fat as well for lubricant. So we have another here. Let's go take that one, put it in this one, and start doing flax fiber. We're at 0.8. How is that 0.8? Oh, because it's 3 normally. Okay. So now it's pretty much, we're getting close to being at half of research usage. So these flax fibers, or flax stems that we created, or has here, is a heck of a lot less. So I mean, we could do 200, and instead of costing us 600, it's now only costing us 360. So we're saving a whole bunch of time collecting. So that will get us 200. That's a good start. And now we're down to 36 seconds worth of time instead of 60 seconds per. But we're still looking at 2 hours to go through all of this. So we're over 2 hours away from having the cloth needed, because we also still have to make our turn this into yarn and then turn it into cloth. So we'll take this one and turn it into here. This will turn yarn. Alright, we need to look at what we're going to need for that. We're going to need one advanced per, which is... So we're going to need 20 pages. Which would be... 2 windmills. 40 windmills total. 40 windmills total. Be 480 times 60%. Let's see, it's 240, 288. So we need 288 linen cloth. So let's calculate that out. 288 cloth. So if we did 290, we need 696. $696. So we need 696, and this is multiple. So we might as well do 300. And we were already going to make 200. So we'll be alright. So we got enough flax being, or flax is being made on the one table to go into here. We got enough flax fiber to fill out the yarn recipe. And then once the next module is ready, we'll throw it in the loom and get that one started. And the only thing missing would be the lubricant for the plow and the wheel. Storage, the wheel. Where'd the wheels go? And no, they are not on the bus going round and round, because otherwise our did our wheels go? There they are. Why did that not pick it up? for that. It's probably only, yeah, it only needs 2 more, so we'll have to go over there and make a couple more. But storage, pull from there. So since we, no, not that one, this one, 10, we have more than enough. Let's go ahead and make 10 more. Got another here, so this goes into the loom. We're saying we were making 290. Oh, that's that. Never mind, wrong one. This one. It's like, how is that 1,000? No. Even if we're making more than we need, it doesn't matter. We need to do it for the XP. Go up. That's done, so we got another one made yet? Not quite yet. I need the next one. Alright, we took it out of this one, didn't we? Yes. Alright, so we have our roasts. We're going to make 20 to get it even with the rest of the food. We're going to make 20 here. And we were going to do 5. Go ahead and move that over there and make that for the roasts. So we want that to come back over here for the lubricant. So again, this is going to become a stumbling block for the flax fiber on getting caught up to these two. And this is just waiting on the lubricant. This is finishing up 2 more roasts, and then it will make the lubricant, and then we will have our hand plow. So, next episode, I guess we're going to have to get more wood. Because we're going to have to make whole planks for the water wheels. We're going to have to make boards for the windmills. We're going to have to make hewn logs for both. So next episode will definitely be a lot of wood gathering. So let's go do a little scouting. So now that we have our ramp here, we can check out these trees that we haven't chopped down. We are at 20 hours on that. 18. So we still got about 15 hours if we want to have these at be almost max maturity to where we can get rid of them. So this spot is kind of not ready. We do, however, up this ramp to here, have plenty of trees that are at 100%. Because these have been growing since the start of the game, so yes, they are very close. On top of that, we do have some log trees that are already chopped down from earlier. From when we were cutting all this stuff over here. That one episode. So there's an 82, there's a 100. So we can get rid of some of these 100s. So we'll be up here collecting all these mushrooms, collecting all these huckleberries, so that, you know, even if we destroy them, we at least had the crops off them. On top of what's in there, we come over this way. We'll take a few rounds and put these here. We have some more trees up this way that are at 100%. So we'll get rid of them. All these spruces, so we can fill in this hole. So we got plenty of trees up here. They're at 100. And if that's not, you know, trouble enough, these oaks that we planted early are only at 66%, so we're not going to get those anytime soon. But we can run down this hallway that we dug out while we are looking for copper, which we have not found yet. But this did dig out and up into our other grove. So we do have an 85, an 86. These are ones that were sprouted up at some point. You know, up here, the ones we planted. These are more sprouted, and our planted ones are at 70. They're at 34 hours. So, you know, all our oaks over here that we planted are at 80 some hours. Even though they look big, they're not. But that also gets us over to this way, where some of these that we haven't done that have been growing since the start. I mean, there's 3 oaks right there that we can chop down. There's a 4th, a 5th, a 6th. So you got at least 6 oaks right there. 7, 8, 9. 10, there's some wood. 11, 12, we got 12 right there, and we haven't even gone that direction. So we have 12 oaks right in this area that we can chop down. That is an equivalent of It says 60, but I think it's more than 60. Well, unless they changed it. It does say 60 all the way around. Alright, well, still, even 10 to 12, that's 600 to 720 wood. And of course, we're not chopping this one down, but you can see you could get current yield of 500 out of it. So between there, the wood up on that plateau over there, all the spruces, we should have plenty of wood. I'll have to take some of that over to the shipyard to make hull planks. Alright, so... Alright, so that has its, right? Yes, that one has one. Down here, all three of these have theirs. Yes. Up here, you had yours. You did not, but we weren't worried about you. This one we did have one in. Good. This one we weren't worried about because the duplicates of those two tables are over here. Which this one has it. This one does not. No. I'm putting this in the bloomery. Next one will go in a rocker. Before long, we'll have to go digging more iron, so... Okay, we'll take this one, go stick it back in that rocker that we just took that 2 out of. Yeah, we'll just stick it in this front one. So now when we go do iron, our crushed is now going to be 3 concentrate instead of 5, or 3 crushed iron instead of 5 to make 1 concentrate. And by doing that, we also reduce the... Oh, we just reduce the amount of iron we're going to use, that's all. But then when we go over to the bloomery for our iron bars, we are now using only 1.2 concentrate out of 2 to make 6 iron. And we use less clay molds, so we will now be using 3.6, and we get 3 of them back. Instead of wasting 3 molds, we are now only wasting 0.6, so the clay molds will last a lot longer. The same thing will happen with the pottery once we get an advanced module up this high. But that's going to take a little bit because we still got to get the laboratory up, which comes after mechanics. And even if we went over here, our crushed iron still isn't going to change because it's a static value. So we still need 12 iron ore in order to get our 2 crushed. So before long, we're going to be doing a lot of, well, next episode will be a lot of wood gathering. The episode after that is probably queuing up, well, we'll probably be queuing up the wood products as we collect wood. And queuing up the recipes to make windmills and water wheels on that workbench, or on that carpentry bench. Be queuing it up over here. Don't have it yet. But this will become 9 logs per 2.4 or 3. No. Yeah, 2.4 lubricant per, and what was that 7.2 cloth per. And then over here we will have 4.8 hull planks per, 2.4 lubricant per, and 6 hewn logs per. But now you understand why we were trying to get roads up in between each other, so it's not as hard to get the wood to the locations that we need to do it. So yes, your basic engineer, once he's done making some of the stuff, he makes a bunch of roads for people to put down in between places, in between homes, in order to make it easier to get around. Because you're not going to have to try to go up and down. It's hard to take a cart across the up and downs. I mean, yeah, they can make basic wooden or dirt roads to turn into ramps, but like I said, once you get a proper road system in, it's a hell of a lot easier on multiplayer. Some people just don't care and they like to do, make the surface work and go over the top of the surface. For me, I'm already going to be digging underground. I might as well make my roads underground. Unless they're going to pop up for other reasons. Like I said, popping up from underground here so we can get to our wood. Popping up over here so we can get to our wood. But yeah, that tunnel goes back into this area here. That's all the way back here. And I have not found any copper with the iron drill in this area. And where this one goes, I have not found the copper here. Maybe just because I'm not down deep enough. Alright, where were we next? Alright, that's going. Alright, that's about done with the next one. This one we're going to run over to the shipyard. Actually, we'll just wait until we got 2 and then run them both over to the shipyard. Because we got the carpentry table over there that we're going to need as well. So, since we are at an hour on this session, I think this is where I'm going to call it. Next episode, we will finish making the module 3s that we can, that we have module 2s for. If we have to make more modules, we'll make more modules. But we'll mainly be collecting wood in the next episode, so we could queue up everything for windmills and water wheels. Probably have to do a little more hunting at some point. I will probably go collect the compass bulbs that are probably ready. And we'll take the plow over there with us, so you can see how it is used for early farming instead of the hoe. And I don't know. I'm going to be looking at getting more iron. So, yeah. So until the next time in episode 39. Enjoy your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you happen to be.